Nikola Tesla said those who understand the 3, 6, and 9 also understand the universe. So if you look at an astrologer, you know, each planet is either 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 360 degrees, but they all add up to the digit of a 3, 6, or 9. If you look at world history is 70 years. 70 years in world history equals 1 day. So if you look at the United States, which is only 200 and something odd years old, well, by history and world standards, it's considered a baby nation. So it's just a matter of understanding how these cycles work. It's just incredible how it's God's number. 7 is nature. From 7 days in a week, 7 notes in the musical scale, 7 colors in the rainbow, the 7 continents. And in fact, the majority of the founders of religions are 7. Buddha is born on the 7th. Christ's birthday celebrated on the 25th. 2 plus 5 is 7. Elijah Muhammad, the founder of the Nation of Islam, was born October the 7th. When a Muslim goes to Medina to make his Hajj in Mecca, he must circle the Kaaba stone 7 times and the rite is complete. So if you took the United States, for example, although it is the 4th day of the month, July 4th, its whole structure was predicated upon the 13. 13 stars, 13 stripes, 13 naval ships guarded the colonies, E pluribus unum, 13 letters, the White House, 13 letters, don't tread on me, 13 letters. And so even the word assassination is 13 letters. So 4 and 13 has always been very important to the United States. If you look at the dollar bill, you got the eagle that holds 13 arrows, 13 claws, it's got 13 stripes, it's got 13 clusters above the head. If you take the protractor to the triangle on the back of the dollar bill, it's 67 degrees, well 6 plus 7 is 13. So if you then go to the root of 13, 1 plus 3 is 4. A president is elected every 4 years. Then Washington, D is broken into 4 quadrants, northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest. The area code to Washington is area code 202. And the zip code is 20002, which is a 4. So everything about it is predicated upon the 4 or its higher octave, the 13. 4s represents foundation. 4s represents the square. It represents boundaries, but it represents also the genius in man. The chair I'm sitting at, the table you're sitting at, whatever the case is. Yes, 3 represents the tripod of something for which that word comes from, the first word tri, T-R-I. But without 4, that is the foundation. So when you look at news, which is north, east, west, and south, it means it's coming from all 4 directions. 4s represents the foundation. Anytime you build a structure, you always got to look at the cornerstone of anything. This building that we're in has some cornerstone for which the whole rest of this building was built upon. Numbers guide you in everything you do. 5 is always indicative of change. The 5 senses, the 5 fingers. 5 represents freedom, flexibility. It tells me people who are normally born in the 5th month have the ability to walk before they were 1 year old, because they're very smart, very engaging. As 5 is ruled by the planet of Mercury, which is the planet of communications, multifaceted, multi-talented, multi-dimensional. A person who has the ability to speak and articulate the thoughts and feelings of the culture, the community, humanity, whatever the case is. People that are born on the 19th or possess the 19 in their name are very, very fortunate. And in fact, they call the 19 the Prince of Heaven. It denotes honor, success, and esteem. It is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning, and then they're both fire numbers. The numbers basically go no higher than 1 to 9. So anything above that, they call it the Fadic system, F-A-D-I-C. So if a person is born on the 12th, they would be a 3 because 1 plus 2 is 3. But so you always got to go back to the root number. The day you're born is considered the compass that points north. It symbolizes north on your compass. See, your date of birth represents what you must learn over a long period of time by taking the month, the day, and the year. But it is your date of birth that's more immediate. So in your case, born on the 4th, that is your more primary birthday. That is what affects you more than anything. And 4 represents people who like to be different. In fact, I describe 4 as the number of secret enemies, because people are either jealous of you, envious, or insecure. And the only reason why is 4s are very visionary. They say and do things way ahead of time. So if you look at Stevie Wonder, who did Inner Visions of My Mind with no sight, that album, I mean, just the way he did it, but he's a 4. 4s are different. It's like taking a test. Can you read the word? Yes, but do you understand the words? That's a whole nother thing. And the beautiful part about when you go to the birthday, it sets up for me the stage of the foundation. So for example, born on May the 4th, you would be an earth sign with an air number, which means very pragmatic, which is the nature of an earth sign. And then very logical in your reasoning, which is the power of deduction. 4 rules of mechanical, mathematical sciences, computers, technology, engineering, the media, radio, television, technology in all forms. 4 represents people who are very sensitive, very, very unique. But once I know a person's numbers, then it tells me, in your case, your numbers are the 4, 1, and 5. So what does that mean? And see, coming out of Harlem, I would tell people that's their attitude. What does it mean? And it means your best days are always on Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday. These are always your power days to do things of consequence. Then it tells me what dates would be important to you, such as the 1st, the 4th, the 5th, the 10th, the 13th, 14th, then the 19th, the 22nd, 23rd, 28th, and 31st of the month. And then it tells me your power months are normally in and around February, June, July, August, and September. There are certain numbers that are found on the plane. The 4 and the 5 are found on the physical plane. The physical plane is those who like to examine things, okay? They are the ones who will take something, form, or whatever the case, and work with that in the physical world. The number 1 and 8s are found on the mental plane. Those are the business numbers. You know, they're about logic and reasoning and, you know, does it make sense and stuff. This is why 1 people and 8 people appear to be cold or distant, because, and it's not that they lacking feelings, it's just they have logic. Then the emotional planes are your 2s, your 3s, and your 6s. Those are the ones that express things through feelings, intuitions, hunches. These are your artists, musicians, your actors that get into character, that expresses themselves. And then you got, finally, the intuitive plane, and those are the only 2 numbers of the 7 and the 9. 2 is always the number of unity. 2 is the number that has the balance, day and night, up and down, open and closed, male and female. It's always that balance in things. This is why 2s make excellent negotiators. This is why 2s bring parties together. 2 is also a very psychic and intuitive number. It is ruled by the moon in and of itself. And it also rules anything relating to the mechanical, mathematical sciences, computers, technology of the higher mind, things like that. 2 is known to go into the smallest of details. So people will say, well, 2s get caught up in the minutiae. But the way I explain it is like, if you take the nuts and bolts off at the table you're sitting at, or the chair I'm sitting on, all of this will fall apart. So these little nuts and bolts and screws that we don't see appearing obvious are the ones that hold up the bigger picture. 3s that represents the trilogy, the mother, the father, the child, the president, the past, the present, the future, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. You know what I'm saying? 3 represents creativity, imagination. It is ruled by the planet Jupiter that denotes expansion. It denotes Lady Luck. If you go to an astrologer, the first thing they want to see is where is Jupiter aspected in your chart, in what house, because that particular house will reflect the area of abundance that is likely to come into the house. 3 is about expansion. 3 is about imagination. 3 rules foreigners, foreign countries, foreign languages. And 3s, one of the things I love, well, see, I love all the aspects about the numbers, but 3s I like. When you tell a 3 person you can't do something, they don't just accept it as blind faith. You know how you have an authoritative person says, well, you will never succeed. Well, with a 3 person, when you tell them they are going to fail, they jump to rise to the occasion. That's one of the strong points I like about 3. If I took your month, your day, and your year of birth, it factors out to a number 1. So your destiny number is a 1. So if people are not familiar with numerology terms, I put it in a way where it kind of makes common sense. It tells me symbolically you are in the 1st grade in the school of life. And people who have a 1 destiny are your pioneers, people who are your innovators, people who deal with the first principle. You be the first person to do this. So for example, you may have been the youngest of your brothers and sisters, but the first to leave home, the first to go to school, the first to finish school, but there's always going to be something about your life that's going to make you a number one. And in fact, the year you were born in adds up to 19. Were you aware of that? 8s are always very philosophical. If you talk to an 8 person, the person they married may not have been the person they had planned to marry, but as fate or destiny would happen, they do. So they refer to even to Christ in the Bible as 888. 9, you can't go any higher than 9. 9 is a humanitarian number. 9 is universal, global, international, inspirational, motivational, bring out the best of people. 9s like to be the master of their fate, though, and the captain of their ship. People will say, well, Lloyd, how do you know when a number is good or bad? Just by their actions. We're so busy looking in somebody else's backyard, we need to look in our own backyard. Every one of us are divinely special.